Hi everyone, and welcome back to Stamp with Anna. Today I'm going to share with you the second card that we made at a recent card class, which was focused on making holiday cards. We made a Christmas card, a Hanukkah card, and a general season's greetings card. And so this is the one we're going to make today. And I used the stamp set Broadway Birthday for this one here, and I used this blue candle right here because it was small enough to be able to fit 9 across, and it comes with a coordinating framelit set. It's called Broadway Lights, and I used obviously the candle die and the flame die. Now the stamp set does have a flame stamp, but I chose to just use the die itself. And the sentiment here, Happy Hanukkah, comes from this 2-piece set. It's called A Wish for Everything. So I have Happy and Hanukkah, and then on the inside for sentiments it says, wishing you a light that shines in every menorah and glows in every heart. And that is what's on the inside. So the paper that I'm using, which is beautiful, is part of this Feels Like Frost Designer Series pack, and it has these beautiful prints on one side, beautiful winter scenery prints, and on the back side it's all of these gorgeously foiled papers. Aren't they beautiful? So I'm going to be using that stamp set, that designer series paper, and this comes together really nicely and really quickly. So the card base is thick whisper white, and it is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. Then I have a piece of the designer series paper. It's cut 2 inches by 5.5, and then I have 2 strips of balmy blue that I'm going to attach as my borders for this. And then I have a bunch of scraps of Daffodil Delight and Balmy Blue that I'm going to cut my candles and flames out of. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my border to my designer series paper. So I'm going to take my snail and put some adhesive on both sides. I'm going to make sure I get the corners there so it stays nice and securely. And what I think I'm going to do is bring in my silicone pad so that I can go off the edge. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that that's nice and secure. And I'm going to make just a tiny border here. This foil paper is so beautiful, but you'd have to remember that it is foil paper, and it is somewhat delicate as far as bends and creasing. So you want to be careful when you put it down that you're not putting it down and lifting it up, because you will crease the paper. Okay, I think that's about even. And now I'm going to attach that to my card base. And I'm going to bring it up just a tiny bit. And I just did exact opposite of what I did in class. And when I was in class, I had the ladies stamp and emboss first, so that they would make sure they had enough room on the top and the bottom, and I forgot to do that. So I'm going to do that now. Now my card is a little longer here, and it sticks out on the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my snips, and I'm just going to cut that. And now it's perfect. So I'm going to do my embossing. So here I have my Happy Hanukkah, and I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to stamp it up with some Versamark ink. I'll make sure sure I have this the right way. I had it stamp upside down at class. I'll drop that down, straight up. And it looks like I have good coverage. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to pour some silver embossing powder over that. And wherever I see I might have a little bit of powder, a nice paintbrush, I'm just going to come in and move that off. I've mounted my candle on my block, and because it's photopolymer, I am going to use a stamp pad. Now I have my scraps of Balmy Blue, and with Balmy Blue ink, so I'm doing tone on tone, I'm going to stamp myself 10 candles. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of space in between the candles so that I can die cut them. And this is quite the project to die cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, didn't leave myself enough room. 9 and 10. So now I'm going to go over to my die cut machine, and I'm going to die cut each one of these out. And while I'm there, I'm going to take my scraps of Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to die cut 9 of those. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with all of my candles and flames. And now this is a little tedious, but this isn't a card that you'd probably be able to mass produce for a ton of people. It's just very, very time consuming. So I'm going to attach all of these with, I need a small adhesive, so I'm going to use mini dimensionals. And I turn them all over to make this a little easier. I'm going to leave one aside for my long candle. So here I'm going to attach mini dimensional on the top and bottom of each candle, like that, and in the center of each flame. Now I'm not going to do this all on camera. Okay, so, and also I want you to recognize that when you cut your flames out, you can see there's clearly a front and a back. I'm going to make sure you put your glue dot on the back. So I'm just going to show you how I centered up the first one, and then I'll finish off the rest of them. There is this great tool by Tim Holtz, and it's a centering ruler. And it'll show you exactly where center is. So you can see here on the ruler, it has a 0, and then the numbers go backwards. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You put this ruler where you think 0 is, center is. So I'm going to guess it's right here. And then you check and make sure that you have the same amount of space on either side. So let's say I put my 0 here. All right. I can see clearly that's not center because I have 1, 2 1/4 on this side, and I have 1, 2, 3 on the other side. So I'm going to scooch it over, and now I have 2 3/4 on either side. So I know this is center. So what I'm going to do is take one of my candles, and I'm going to place that right there, so I know that's center. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go put on the rest of my dimensionals and I'll be back to finish building this with you. Okay, all my candles and flames have dimensionals on it. Now, that 10th candle that I have, I did a little differently. I put that dimensional right up to the top and I put a glue dot on the bottom. And that's because I want to make sure that this, I have the dimensional up on the top, there's one in the middle, and there's one on the end. Don't worry about that little piece here. We're going to cover that with a ribbon. So now I'm going to take one of my candle flames and I'm going to put that right there, and it does stick up. That is the important candle. It is up, and that's fine. That's part of my design. So now I'm just going to take all of these and line them up next to this on either side of this tall one. And again, rather than have you sit here and watch me do this, I'm going to do it. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with all of my candles assembled. The last thing I'm going to do to my candles, I just want to have it all coincide and be cohesive. So I have this shiny paper here. This is embossed and it's shiny, and there I have a bling. So now I want to add some shimmer, obviously, to my candles. And I'm going to take my Wink of Stella and I'm just going to color in all of my flames as well as my candles. And it does go really quickly. I found that it was easier to assemble my candle before coloring it. Coloring it while it was just a tiny little candle was a little difficult, so I decided to attach and then color or coat with Wink of Stella. Okay, and the last thing I need to do is attach my bow to hide my seam here. So I'm going to put a little glue dot right there, and then I'm going to put my bow. Whoop. I'm going to put my glue dot on my bow first. I think the Wink of Stella might still be a little wet there. Okay, and I'm going to attach my bow right there to cover that seam. And there we have, oh, still a little wet from the Wink of Stella, so I don't think it's going to stick just yet. Okay, and there it is. Now you'll, okay, and here we have our beautiful card. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? Nice shimmer and shine. So if you have any questions about this project or any of the products that I've used, certainly contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. And if you do not currently have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with whom you work, and you'd like some more information about Stampin' Up! And all of its products, and if you would like to receive a complimentary catalog, certainly let me know and I'll be glad to help you out. Thanks so much and have a great day.